The snow is falling, the freezes are freezing, and here at Backpacker, we are making the most of winter. Hi, I'm Adam Roy, Backpacker's editor-in-chief, and here with me are senior editor Zoe Gates, senior gear editor Ben Tepler, and associate editor Emma Veidt, and we are here to talk about our favorite gear of January 2026. So everybody, I have a question for you. We are into January, we're in the home stretch of winter. What is one thing you want to do before winter is over?
I want to actually be around snow, which I think is a little bit of a bizarre ask given that most of the country right now on the east side of the country is probably overwhelmed with snow, but where I am, we're getting nothing. So I just want to experience a little bit of traditional winter before we get to spring.
Emma, I feel you. We have had a crazy dry winter so far, but we did get blessed with a little bit of snow yesterday. I was shoveling it this morning and skiing in it yesterday. Zoe, how about you? What do you want to do before winter is over?
Well, not to be a copycat, but I'd like to ski some more powder. I got a little taste of it around Christmas here in Washington, and since then it's dried up and the mountains are just barely hanging on to a little bit of snow. So I would love just one more deep day at least before winter ends.
So Ben, unlike the rest of us, you are an Easterner, you're based in Vermont. How's the snow been around you, and what are you planning on doing with it before winter is over?
The snow is quite good. It is actively snowing right now. I think we're almost at 2 feet where I am, just in the last 24 hours. It's been a great snow season. I'm really sorry to gloat, but the skiing has been wonderful throughout, and I don't have too many wants as a result. But I do think I'm gonna go try to find some wild ice to skate on before the season ends.
Ben, are you a big wild ice skater, or is this a new hobby?
I used to play ice hockey. I like ice skating, and last year was the first year I went wild ice skating sort of on the eastern side of the state, and it was super fun, and I was like, I gotta do this again.
Well, personally, I would like to get my Nordic skis out. I have a pair of metal edge backcountry Nordic skis that I put a ton of miles on most winters, but I've got a few days on my touring setup, my AT setup, but I have not brought out my Nordic skis yet this year, so I would like to do that at least once before the season is over. Well, speaking of seasonality, we are here to talk about some of our favorite seasonal gear of this month, January, and I'm happy to start. This is a little bit of a departure for me. Most of the gear I talk about on these videos is stuff that companies have sent us to test as part of our job. This was actually a gift. This is the Patagonia Snowfarer cap. It is a packable, very light, active wear cap that is made specifically for the snowy season, although I'm going to explain why I think it would actually be a great year-round piece. So first of all, there's the construction on this. Patagonia is known for sustainability. This is no exception. This cap is made of, I think, 100% recycled nylon from fishing nets, which is pretty cool. The sweatband inside is recycled polyester. There's a foam core brim, which means that it bends really easily. And more importantly, it snaps back into shape. Once you take it out of your pack or out of your pocket, you can crumple it up, whatever. I don't know about any of you, but once I've gotten a hat crushed, I can never really get it to look normal again. It always looks kind of lopsided on me. So this is very welcome. I don't have to walk around with my hat clipped to the back of my ski pack or day pack or anything like that. Really light, it's about 3 ounces. And unlike a lot of other caps made for active wear, this isn't a full-on trucker style cap. It's actually got solid material here at the back, but with a bunch of perforations in it. So it does breathe well, but it also provides really nice coverage from winter sun. You know, if you're up above tree line in the winter, you're really getting pounded by that sunshine. You don't want to burn or anything like that. So it's really welcome there, but it does breathe well enough that I could see using it in the summer. So far, I've used it for touring, and I would note too, it doesn't have a button on the top. So if you're the kind of person who likes to wear your hat right under your helmet so you don't have to switch, you can do that really comfortable. That is my pick for my favorite gear of January, the Patagonia Snowfarer cap.
Is it washable? I find that with a lot of the hats that I have to wear for running or hiking or whatever, there's a lot of sweat that I accumulate on the inside, and sometimes washing is like just really difficult with certain hats.
Emma, I'm totally with you. I've had this problem with a lot of my caps. I end up with that like sweat band right here. This is machine washable. The instructions say machine wash cold. air dry, so really easy to take care of.
Nice.
Ben, why don't you tell us what you've been making use of in this banner snow season for you in Vermont?
My item is actually not winter or snow season specific, but I have been loving Bowl Kettle's dehydrated meals. They are like a small scale artisan freeze-dried operation out of Denver. Anyone who knows me will know that I'm obsessed with Stowaway Gourmet, which has been our top pick basically for the last 4 years for dehydrated backpacking meals. And I'll say Bowl Kettle is probably the closest to dethroning that I've tried in recent years. They've got, I think they have around 3 meals. Yeah, 3 meals at this point. They have a tikka masala. They have street corn grits, which is kind of like a deconstructed corn elote, like the Mexican street snack. And then they have a crawfish etouffee, which was my favorite. In addition to having just fairly authentic and international ingredients in their food, I would say that the quality of the ingredients and the attention to seasoning is just very high. I think the crawfish in the etouffee pouch is from Louisiana, and I think with a few more flavors and just like a few tweaks to their technique, they could really give Stowaway a run for their money.
Well, considering all the praise that Stowaway has gotten from you over the years, Ben, that's saying quite a lot. Tell us about the texture of this. A lot of the time, when you have people making a go at complicated recipes in freeze-dried form, it ends up kind of mushy. Do they manage to keep the bite of the crawfish meat and things like that?
Yeah, I would say the texture of these meals is quite good. For the etouffee that I really liked, the crawfish tails, they're quite like plump and juicy, just the way you would want them. The grit texture is really good. The grits are like, for the elote dish, like creamy. There's like a little tooth to it, like pretty spot on. So texture-wise, A+.
Emma, why don't you show us what you brought today?
I also brought a Christmas gift that I got just a couple weeks ago. I got a travel-sized boggle, and you wouldn't necessarily expect that this would be a perfect backpacking piece of gear, but it is something that I brought on a recent trip and something that I'm using also in the front country. I do the Wordle every day. I also do the spelling bee on the New York Times Games app. And so when I'm in the backcountry, I kind of want something more interactive than the book that I normally bring, and I'm not a huge card game person. So when I got Boggle a couple weeks ago, I knew that Boggle was going to be perfect for my backpacking trips. And so it doesn't have the weight on the box, so I weighed it on my kitchen scale. It's 6.5 ounces, which is probably not perfect for some ultralighters, but they have an even smaller version that is called the world's smallest Boggle, I think, and it fits in the palm of your hand. So for people who want entertainment and don't want to take up too much space in their pack, that is probably a better version for them, but for me, it is the perfect size. You can play on the Notes app on your phone if you are not necessarily interested in writing down each word that you find on a piece of paper with pen. And so I find that I'm able to play round after round after round under a headlamp, even in my tent, well past hiker midnight.
Emma, considering you have both a master's degree in journalism and years of experience at this point as a professional editor, do you ever feel bad crushing your hiking buddies?
That's actually a point of contention with my partner. He's so good that I lose every time. And it's so unfair because he's a musician. He doesn't do words. I'm like, it sucks. So I'm working to get better.
That's embarrassing, Emma. How
I know,
embarrassing.
but he's played his entire life, and I haven't played since I was a kid, so even though I have a master's degree and my job is literally words, he unfortunately is better.
So Zoe, tell us what you've brought. We've got so far a game and a freeze-dried meal and a hat. So I want you to add to the variety here for us.
Yeah, I've got some variety for you. I brought a pair of gloves that have solved a big problem for me this winter. When I go ski touring, I have this issue where my hands get super warm on the ascent when I'm working hard on the uphill. And then as soon as I transition, start skiing down, it's like all the circulation to my fingers disappears and my hands are freezing. So as a result, I, in the past, have worn really lightweight liners on the way up and then switched into heavier mitts on the way down. But I haven't been able to find anything until now that has been breathable enough for climbing, but also been weather resistant to shed some precipitation. The liners I was wearing before would always wet out if it was snowing or drizzling, which unfortunately is a reality of ski touring in Washington. So this winter I finally upgraded to the Mont Blanc glove from Black Diamond. These are super lightweight and designed for hard efforts like ski touring uphill or running in winter, but they also have this great weather resistant shell on the outside. So I found them to be perfect to keep my hands from sweating too much while I'm climbing, but they still protect me from flurries, drizzle, whatever is going on. I wore them a couple weeks ago on a really windy snow tour, and I found that I actually wore them all day. I never had to change into my backup gloves, just this one glove for the whole tour, which was a first for me and really awesome. They've also got this silicone grip on the palm, which is really nice for holding onto your phone, your ski pole, whatever, so I'm not dropping my stuff in the snow. Most of the time when I'm skiing out here in the Northwest, it's hovering somewhere around freezing and often kind of damp conditions or some kind of precip. So I felt that they're really great for that. If I was touring in anything below maybe 20 degrees Fahrenheit, I'd probably want to opt for a warmer glove. But for most days, when temperatures are kind of moderate and I'm working hard, moving, getting my heart rate up, they're kind of that nice middle ground where they offer a bit of protection without my hands sweating and wetting out.
Can you slip those into a mitten, or are they too bulky?
Yeah, totally. They're super low profile, and I haven't worn them just as a liner yet. I've only worn them on their own so far, but I would definitely be able to fit these. These are actually a little bit big for me, but if I had the proper size, then I would be able to slip them into a mitt.
Well, Zoe, I'm going to be hoping that you get some more snow this season to put those to good use in. And if you, our readers, would like to tell us what gear you loved in January, we now have comments on our site. You can go to the comments on this post and let us know what you found useful this month. Please do not abuse them. Please be nice to me, because if you are not, I will cry. Until then, I'm Adam Roy, Editor-in-Chief of Backpacker. We'll see you next month.